My parents yelled the words at me like a verdict, their voices echoing across the dinner table, heavy with accusation. "Family sacrifices for family," my father snapped. "Your sister needs you," my mother pleaded, her eyes sharp enough to cut. And I just sat there, silent, unmoved, because arguing would have been pointless. They weren't asking me to help her, they were demanding I empty my savings, the savings I'd built with years of quiet discipline, for her shiny new startup fantasy. I didn't argue, I didn't explain. I simply stood, pushed back my chair, and walked away. What they didn't know, what they could never have guessed, was that I'd already discovered the truth. My sister and I had never been equals. She was the golden child, reckless, adored, forgiven for everything. I was the shadow, quiet, steady, the one who carried responsibility without being asked. I used to believe we were allies. When we were young, she'd slip into my room during storms, trembling, and I'd hold her until she fell asleep. She told me once I was the only one who ever made her feel safe. I believed her, foolishly, because when she grew older, she learned how to use that bond against me. The first sign came last year, a strange withdrawal from my account, tiny, almost invisible. Then another, small enough to dismiss as error, but I don't dismiss anything. I checked, traced, watched, and the pattern revealed itself. Not mistakes, not chance. Her. She had been quietly siphoning money from me for months, using access I'd once given her when we were close. I confronted her? No. I waited, because betrayal isn't just an act, it's a window into character. If she'd do it once, she'd do it again. And she did. I gathered everything, bank statements, transfers, even her careless emails bragging to friends about how dumb I was for not noticing. That was the night my trust died. I didn't rage, I didn't cry, I didn't beg my parents to see her for what she was. No, I planned. I stopped being her shield, stopped being their convenient backup plan. Instead, I became something far quieter and far more dangerous. Every dollar I earned, I shifted into accounts she couldn't reach, investments she'd never trace. I built walls of steel around what was mine, and at the same time, I let her believe she still had power over me. Because when people think they're winning, they grow sloppy. When she came with her startup pitch, it was almost laughable. A recycled idea wrapped in buzzwords she didn't understand. And yet, my parents fell for it, starry-eyed. "Help your sister," they said. "She just needs a chance." I told them no, calmly, flatly, as if I hadn't already wired every scrap of my savings into an untouchable vault. That was when they snapped. That was when they screamed those words, "How dare you refuse to help your sister?" And I left, because the stage was already set. 2 days later, her startup account was frozen. The investors she lied about? Exposed. The website she launched? Reported for plagiarism. The funds she bragged she had secured? Gone, because I had sent the evidence, neatly packaged, to every single one of them. Piece by piece, her empire of lies collapsed, and she never even saw me move. This morning, the call came. My mother's voice was ragged, panicked. "They froze everything. Your sister is being investigated. Did you know about this?" I almost laughed. Instead, I listened to the silence that followed. The silence where they waited for me to rush in, to fix it, to sacrifice myself again. But I didn't, because now they finally understand. I wasn't refusing to help her out of selfishness. I was refusing because she had already been feeding off me for years. I let them discover the wreckage themselves. I let them taste the bitter truth. The golden child wasn't golden at all. So when I stood at the window this morning, coffee in hand, and watched the sunlight creep across my quiet apartment, I felt nothing but clarity. She had played her game, I had played mine. But unlike her, I don't bluff. I don't gamble. I calculate. I execute. I finish. My parents once told me family means sacrifice. They were wrong. Family means accountability, and she earned hers. I didn't argue, I didn't shout, I simply walked away. And in that silence, she lost everything.